homeschooling. It's not for the faint-hearted. Pulling your child out of formal education requires confidence and no small measure of commitment. But what about those parents who remove their children from school in order to cover up abuse? New figures show the number of home-taught children known to social services is double that of those who attend school. In one local authority, social services were in contact with more than half the homeschoolers. Regulation is virtually non-existent, but now the government wants to close the loophole and force home-teaching parents to pass an inspection every year. Any concerns about safety or the quality of the education, and the children could be told to return to school. Well, joining me in the studio is Newstead, who homeschools her 4 children and is a trustee of the organisation Education Otherwise. Thank you for joining us. Anne, what do you make of the proposals?
Actually, most home educators are shocked and deeply offended by a lot of these recommendations. They don't...
Why?
Well, because they don't take any account of the reality of home education. The review did actually acknowledge that it didn't find that home education was being used as a cover of abuse. And unfortunately, some of those cases that you referred to where social services are involved come as the result of neighbours phoning and saying that they're not happy with the family next door because the children are always at home and they're always playing in the garden. And unfortunately, some of it is malicious and some of it is just down to a lack of understanding about home education.
All fair points, of course, but is it not remarkable that there exists at the moment virtually no regulation, as we pointed out?
There is plenty of regulation and there's a process to go through when you take your children out of school. But when you delegate your educational responsibility to a school, then that school is required to evidence to you, the parent, and to Ofsted that they're fulfilling their duty. When you do it yourself as a parent, you shouldn't need to provide the evidence to anyone else that you're providing a suitable education.
But what about the children's rights? Because it's one thing to homeschool your child, but it's another thing to provide them with a quality education.
That is exactly what we are providing them with, and I don't see anything in this report, actually, that supports children's rights. It seems to be simply about the right of the state to interfere in family life.
Your situation, of course, you homeschool 4 of your own children, but take it you dispute some of the findings of this report. But there are cases of people who do abuse children through the front of homeschooling. How do we regulate them if we're not to toughen the system?
The systems that are in place are sufficient to pick up any abuse, whether it's in school or at home.
But all you have to do is notify the school and then the LEA that you're homeschooling. There's nothing else there.
But your child is taking part in the community every single day. My children are out and are seen by adults, by the children in the community.
Yours might be, but what about other people who
Well, the same goes for the vast majority of home educators.
So you dispute the need for any more tighter regulation?
We do. We just ask that the existing regulation is enforced correctly and carried out by trained professionals.
But you must accept the vast majority doesn't mean everybody. So more regulation...
No, the same as the vast majority of children in school are safe. But unfortunately, as some of your previous news items show, not all children in nurseries or in school are safe.
Mrs. Newstead, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.